Hey, my loves, it's me, Color Me Pynk, and I am here with this week's All Tea, All Shade, Real Housewives of New York, Season 14, Episode 3 review. Okay, so it's the next day, the second day that they're in the Hamptons at Aaron's house, and Jessel wake up complaining, child, about it being too cold. It's a freezer up in there, and oh my God, she was so cold, so cold, so cold. Me personally, I would have got my life being at Aaron's house because my house is literally an igloo, okay? And I tell people before they even try to come over here, if you don't like the temperature in which my home is going to be set at, then don't come over here because I'm not accommodating you. Sorry. Like, don't know what to tell you. I'm the person that has my air on in the wintertime. That's who I am. Thank God I'm in a house that my heating and cooling system heats and cools different areas of the house. So if I'm on this side of the house, the thermostat controls this side of the house. If I'm on that side of the house, the thermostat controls that side of the house. And if I'm downstairs, the thermostat controls that part of the house. So now in the wintertime, I can have my air on and Kyrese can have heat on downstairs, child. And I'm fine. But the only thing about it is though, is that the heat will sometimes still blow up in my room and I don't be liking it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't like to be hot and I'm not going to be hot for anybody. I don't care who you are. And it's just like a way of handling yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's a way of just doing and saying everything. I don't like when people come over to your house and complaining and always got something to say and being ungrateful. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that. I don't like that. She could have literally just woke up and said, girl, it was a little cold up in there, but, you know, tonight, can you just give me like an extra blanket or something? There's different ways to handle things. So, Uber comes in the room, and she even said she was cold, but she didn't, oh, it was so cold, and doing all that extra stuff that Jess will be doing. So they bring up Jenna and how Jenna snuck out the house to go home as they were all kicking it downstairs. And they caught her leaving, and she was like, I'm just going to go home because I got a 6:30 a.m. call time or whatever. And they felt some type of way that she didn't spend the night because it was supposed to be a group thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, be a part of the group. And I understand that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, be here or whatever. If you had an early call time, why you didn't say that? Why you didn't say that? So they would have known to, you know, keep it down some. I got to get up in the morning to handle this. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Once again, it's a way of handling things. So Jessel gonna make a comment to Aaron talking about some, well, her house is by the ocean. Whose house isn't? And Aaron was like, so what you trying to say? My house isn't good because it's not by the ocean? And she was like, no, I wasn't trying to say that. Well, what was you trying to say? Jessel reminds me of Ramona. Jessel is Ramona. Remember when I did my breakdown of the girls, I couldn't really pinpoint who she reminded me of? She's giving me Ramona vibes where she doesn't think before she speaks and she just says whatever that comes to her mind and disregards other people's feelings. Like other people's feelings don't even resonate in her brain when she talks. So Sai wakes up and runs in the room to get the tea and end up slipping and falling because she had socks on. She laughs it off or whatever. And then Jessel gets to complaining about the Wi-Fi not working and she can't connect to anything. And Sai was like, girl, I'm not going to be dealing with complaining this morning. You need to wake up and be grateful. You know what I'm saying? All that whining and complaining like she's getting annoyed by Jessel at this point. And even Aaron is like, is anything in my house good enough for this girl? Like, I would have been told her to go home because, girl, you got me messed up. So Jenna returns and the girls get on her for leaving. And she was like, well, once again, I had a 6:30 a.m. call time. Y'all had the music going and stuff, and I didn't want to interrupt y'all. So, you know, I just went 10 minutes home, but it was supposed to be a group thing. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no buts about it. And Erin was mad. She was offended and she was mad. You could tell her feelings was hurt. But what tickled me, and I don't know if they had already talked about her house being cold and they just cut that part out, but when the girls left the room and it was just Jenna and Uber, I believe, she gonna say, oh my God, my glasses are gonna fog up from the cold. And I was like, shady boots. Like, you got it in your Jenna, girl. So Aaron's trainer, David, comes over to the house to do a session with the ladies. And as soon as Uber see him, Uber was like, like them eyes locked in on that man, and she wanted him and made it abundantly clear that she was attracted to him. And come to find out, they both were African. And he seemed like he was very much attracted to her, honey, because that hug was a very intimate hug and wasn't nothing professional about it at all. So Brynn arrives, honey, and the girls is out back in the backyard exercising. And so she's pulling up to the house, and she talking to herself as she's walking to the door, and was like, oh, we're in an interesting part of the Hamptons. South is where it's at, but this is good too. Like, everybody keep on joning on this lady house. Like, after tonight's episode, I would have been calling up all them heifers, because y'all got me messed up talking about my house. Like, y'all got me messed up, honey. Now, mind you, Sai and her husband purchased a house in the Hamptons last year. I don't know if it was in the Hamptons or another port upstate, but they have a beautiful house that they're renovating right now. So I can't wait to see how the girls are going to act when they finally go to Sai's house upstate and stay once it's done. So, Uba in her confessional, so Brynn goes into the backyard with them. Mind you, she shows up in this fur coat and a jogging suit. And Uba in her confessional gonna say, Brynn arrived like a pimp from head to toe. That's not the Hamptons. That's Mississippi, like down in the river. It was like, y'all can throw shade. Y'all really some shady old heifers. I'm loving this. I'm loving them reading each other. So Brynn get there, and she knows David. They've met before, and she get to flirting with him and hugging him and won't let him go. You can tell he's not into her per se, but she was trying to throw that cootie cat on him. And Uba pulls that man away and was like, like she claimed him as hers. And Brynn was like, yeah, Uba was like, yep, and did. What was it? Oh, okay. That man was looking like, oh my God, like these ladies are literally sitting up here fighting over me. I was like, okay. And so they get done exercising and everything, and Jenna offers to let Brynn have her room. And Aaron was like, what, because you want to go home again? And she was like, no, da-da-da. And so Aaron says, that really bothered me that you left or whatever. Jenna apologizes, all is well, okay? So Uba tells Brynn what happened with Jenna leaving, and Brynn says it's a double standard because when she didn't show up to dinner and went to a different restaurant, Aaron was all up in arms and this, that, and the third. But then when Jenna comes to your house and leaves in the middle of the night, all is forgiven and it's nothing. And very much it was a double standard. It really honestly was, and I saw where she was coming from, and it is giving either you just don't like me or you kissing her butt. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jenna can do no wrong because she's Jenna Lyons. And no, you're not about to play in my face like that. So they all go to lunch. Everybody's looking fabulous, honey, wearing khaki, even though Jenna points out they couldn't wear khaki to her event. But okay, I digress. So Brynn tells Uba how to meet a man, honey, is you keep your sexiest nude photos in your phone. And if you spot somebody that you like, you go stand next to him and be looking through your phone. And then when he look down and see all your sexy nudes, he gonna be like, what's up? Everybody was like, what? That ain't how you beat no bad? Because she was like, first of all, if he looking down at your phone, he a weirdo and a pervert. Like, huh? Like, Brynn is crazy. She is so funny to me. Like, Brynn reminds me of Sonya and Tinsley Mortimer, like mixed together. Like the airhead, the slutty like behavior, the flirtatious way. She's ditzy. Like, she is a gold mine, like literally. Like, this episode was so much better than last week's episode because of Brynn. Gotta say it. Brynn is the MVP of this season. Other girls, y'all better start stepping it up. Like, she really brings that housewife energy. Like, she really honestly does. So the ladies get up and go to the bathroom, And Brynn tells Jessel that, she mad. She feeling some type of way about the Jenna and Aaron situation. So she ends up confronting Aaron about it. And Aaron says, well, maybe I like her a little more. Baby, I had to pull the Marseille Martin. What? I would have been like, bet. You ain't got to tell me twice, okay? How about that? If that's how you feel, keep that same energy, honey. Keep that same energy. Oh, okay. I know where we stand. We see each other. Baby, you ain't got to worry about me, honey. I appreciate the fact that she kept it a buck, but who you talking to? That's what I want to know. So Jenna was like, it's because I'm cute. And Brynn was like, or it's because you're Jenna Lyons. Like, because that's obviously what it was. And I said that to y'all last week on last week's episode, that Aaron is trying to make it seem like her and Jenna are so close, when once again, it's already been said in numerous interviews that they knew of each other because they hung around in the same circles, but they weren't friends. So you just not getting to know this woman just like everybody else is getting to know her. So stop trying to act like y'all BFFs. And you kissing her butt because she is Jenna Lyons and you want to be attached to her. You want to be her best friend. Just say that. Okay? That's exactly what you are. And that's whack. You too old for that. So Jessel was like, you can't please everyone. And Aaron was like, especially not you. And Jessel was like, oh, come on. I love that you think I was complaining. And Aaron was like, you were. So Side was like, you were complaining about the gift that Jenna gave you and everything. So Jenna tells her that, it didn't feel good and it hurt her feelings. So Jessel was like, thank you so much for the gift and everything, but I'll gladly exchange it for something else. Girl, I would have flicked her in her face because you ain't got to exchange. How about you just give it back so I can go take it back and get my money, you ungrateful heifer, you. Like, girl, like, Jenna finally tells her, come on. Like, you don't think that was wrong? And so Jessel finally admits that what she said was wrong, but then makes the comment again about how she couldn't stand the outfit. Girl, get out of here. Get out of here. And I could understand she probably was going through postpartum stuff with her body and not feeling the best about herself, but that don't mean that you get to be rude. You know what I'm saying? And she's a very rude person, very rude, very entitled, and she just spits out word vomit. So Sai says that she wants Jenna to be more confident and sexy with herself and to let her guard down around the girls, like to dress more, in dresses and things of that nature. But I don't think they fully understand that, these scars or whatever she says, or pigmentation issues that she has, her body really affects the way she dresses. I don't think they understand that that's the reason why she's covered up and only shows this part of her body, and I don't think that she's not confident at all. I think that she's the most confident out of all you. Like, she's a fashionista. Like, she don't have to do all of that. And she's comfortable wearing the stuff that she's comfortable with. That don't mean that she's not confident. You know what I'm saying? You could be covered up from head to toe and be the sexiest, baddest woman in the room. That's just like myself. Y'all already know I can put it on. I can go put it on right now. Got 3 rooms, 3 closets filled to the brim with clothes and shoes and jewelry and all of those things, because I love those things. But if I'm just leaving out the house to go to lunch, depending on how my mood is, if I want to stunt that day, I'll put it on. But then I'm the girl that likes to wear jogging pants and a t-shirt and some fly sneakers and a fly purse, my jewelry, and my hair done. Some shades, and I'm out the door. You know what I'm saying? I'm a tomboy in that instance, but then there's the other side of me that like to put that shit on, and to put my drip on and let people know that, yeah, I can do this when I want to. Don't get it twisted. So I didn't really care for that comment from Sai. So Jenna ends up wearing Uba's black dress. It looked fantastic on her. Body is banging, honey. Jenna says that this is how she used to dress when she was dressing to get a man. But where she's at in her life now, you can tell that she's more kind of like on the masculine side, of things. And that's fine because, baby, I love the way Jenna dressed. Ooh, baby, would raid her closet any day. So Sai comes down wearing the lingerie piece that Jenna gave her, and Jenna was like, oh my God, Sai is so beautiful. She looked so hot or whatever. And she did look fabulous in the outfit. So they sitting down having sushi, and they're doing 2 truths and a lie. And one of Erin's truths was that she did the Uchi Wally Uchi Bang Bang in the senator's office, but she didn't say if it was with a senator. Let me find out you out here smashing Meghan McCain daddy. Sai has had a threesome and likes a little chokage. I didn't want to know that about Sai, because I'm a huge fan of her YouTube channel. I just like seeing Sai and her family. I don't want to know what Sai do in the bedroom. I am, however, shocked that she has had a threesome. The choking part I really wasn't shocked about, but I am shocked about the threesome. Brynn loves reverse cowgirl, child. Every time she mentioned doing it, it was in reverse cowgirl. And I'm like, what is that about? Did you grow up watching The Lone Ranger? Like, what is going on? Uba had sex in Central Park. Jenna had a man fall asleep on top of her. Yeah, at that moment, you should have known you might have been a lesbian. Because you must just be boring as I don't know what when having sex with a man that he fell asleep on top of you, girl. Girl, Jessel made out with a rapper. She said a well-known rapper at that. And I want to know who it is. I need answers. And she had a popsicle stuck up her vajayjay once. That sounds like a good time, I must say. What if it was the popsicle stuck up there with the rapper? What if it was somebody in Wu-Tang? Ice cream. Oh, what if it was one of the Wu-Tang guys? I was just joking at first. But what if it was? What if it was Raekwon, or Ghostface, or RZA, or Inspector Deck? Meth. Jizza. Who y'all think it was? So Erin asked for details because she want to know, like, how you do it. She's trying to do that with her husband. Meanwhile, Brynn over here flashing her titties and her coochies to Uber. That night they get undressed and they get into their like comfy clothes so they can go out by the fire. And Brynn trying to open up Erin's refrigerator and Thomas, Alexa, open the refrigerator. Alexa, Siri, open the refrigerator. And so she finally get it open. Thomas, oh my God, white people are so rude. That lady is funny. As if you don't know, she's mixed. She's white and black. So they're sitting by the fire, and Sai tells the girls about how it was growing up poor for her and not having any money because they were talking about the dollar store and stuff like that. And so they're talking about, how fun it is to go shopping at the dollar store. And she was like, that's not fun. It's not fun at all, especially when you were poor. Shopping at the dollar store is not fun. And at first I was like, dang, why is she being so negative about the dollar store? You would think that she would understand or appreciate the dollar store considering that she grew up poor. But it wasn't until she told the story of her life, because I've already heard certain things from her YouTube channel, but this really drew the picture. And she was saying how, when she grew up, her father had to get a little tree from the dollar store that was like this big and sit it on top of a speaker and put their gifts around the speaker to make it look like it was a tree. Like, yeah. She was like, because they was like, oh, that sound so cool. And they was like, that's not cool when all of your friends have big Christmas trees and y'all can't even afford one. That's very embarrassing to have to probably lie to your friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't get it. And so Sai also says, that she grew up poor and she lived with her father for a few years in Florida. But then she moved around after that, like every 7 months. She was the new girl in school constantly, got bullied a lot. And she finally ended up moving out on her own at the age of 16 and living with a girl from her school, and she was working at Sears, and she ended up going to college, but by her junior year she couldn't afford it and wasn't getting any more financial aid. So she literally started living in one of her friends' dorm room and pretending like she still went to the school just so she could have someplace to stay. And I was like, my God, like, can you imagine not knowing where your next meal, where you gonna rest your head at? You know what I'm saying? And having to be on your own at the age of 16 and raise yourself, like, that's craziness. And so Jenna was like, well, where were your parents? And she was like, my parents didn't take care of me. She was like, her mom couldn't afford to take care of her because she was renting a bedroom in somebody's house. And I believe Sai's father might have been on drugs at some point. I don't know. I can't remember if she disclosed it on her YouTube channel, but I remember it was something going on with her father. And she says that, she would always imagine the life that she has now and that she refused to settle for mediocrity. And I was like, okay, now I get it. It made me understand her more and her mindset more, and why she acts and speaks and behaves the way that she does. I got her. I understood her way more. And it made Sai on this show for me more likable, And Brynn related to that because Brynn grew up with her white grandmother, and they grew up she came up very poor. And she would dream about, being able to buy newer furniture for her home with her grandmama. So she gets it. So it was really nice to see a serious side and get to know more about these women. It really was. This was a great episode. I give it an A. This episode was way better than last week's episode. I feel like production messed up with last week's episode. Don't do that no more. Don't do that anymore. I feel like we're really getting a groove now and being able to know these ladies and form valid opinions about them. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about the episode. So far, my fave is Brynn. Brynn is my number one. I love Sai because I've been a fan of Sai, and Uba and Jenna, then Aaron, then Jessel. Jessel is the bottom for me. I don't really care for her. No. Anywho, make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell button, you guys. I love you, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.